toxic positivity. Before I get into today's video, please do subscribe if you enjoy videos about self-improvement, relationships, dating, and other kinds of psychology topics. And I have an Everything Eccentric series that I'm doing where I interview people that have lived life in an interesting or unique way, and I try to get their perspective and learn about how they did what they did. I do this so that other people can learn from them and perhaps decide to follow their own unique career paths or even hobby choices. So the last one I did was with my friend Anthony Beccari. He's an entrepreneur. He does real estate investing, among other things, and I posted that about a couple days ago. Also, I got my book, Radical Self-Respect, coming out very soon. We're really right around the corner on this. I know I've been saying it for a while, but here it comes. And also, please comment below on if you like those Everything Eccentric videos, and comment what you think of this video once I'm done. So toxic positivity. I think that's a topic that doesn't really get addressed too much. Most people focus on the one side, which is negativity, and how terrible negativity is, and how you want to replace your attitude with a positive one, a more in tune one with what's going on. And I do agree with this, but I think there's a flip side where people can kind of go too far into the positivity realm. And I'll explain what I mean. There's a few specific examples I've seen. And usually what happens is people stop becoming authentic. If someone can genuinely be positive and continue to be authentic, I have no problems with that. But there comes to be a point where some people, you can just sense, I can sense they're not being authentic. And when that happens, it really bothers me. And I'll give you a couple examples. I think a lot of network marketing groups are guilty of this because a network marketing group is an ideology. There's other kinds of ideologies out there too, besides network marketing, of course. There's veganism, politics like Republican and Democrat, conservative and liberal, jiu-jitsu, NA, AA, any sorts of religions. There's many kinds of philosophies out there. But network marketing uses this thing where they want everyone to be super positive and work really hard so you can all meet mutually beneficial goals. And I think there's some great things to learn, but where I draw the line is where people are no longer being genuine and true to themselves. And where I see this happen the most is with people who have mental illness. For someone who has mental illness, including myself, it's way more important to me to be genuine and authentic and to keep it real about how I'm thinking and feeling, as opposed to trying to make sure I'm positive at all times. And a worst case example of this, and this is extreme, but there was a woman I used to know that was going to network marketing, and she was trying to pump everyone up by saying it's super easy to succeed and da-da-da-ba-da-do. And that kind of bothered me a little bit because anything worth doing is not going to be easy. Anything worth doing, there's going to be a lot of hard work and perseverance involved, and a lot of times we're going to want to quit, and we got to push through those times to get to the point where we succeed. But to say something that is going to be a great achievable goal, a great destination is going to be easy, I don't think so. And I mentioned this, and she told me I should maybe take my own advice and know that anything could be easy, and if I only knew how powerful my thoughts were, I would never think a negative thought again. And it's like, hey, I get it. I get neuroplasticity. I get listening to positive self-talk and being the best version of myself and trying to be. But I draw the line when I can no longer be authentic. And it turns out this woman that was saying this to me, she was not being authentic either. And I found out in the worst of possible scenarios where it turns out that, and this woman was very successful within this network marketing company, but she committed suicide. She hung herself and had a couple children and a husband she left behind. And it really got to me that she did that because I was thinking to myself, man, I could sense that she wasn't really being real about how she was thinking and feeling, and she just wouldn't come clean with it. She was so worried about what the rest of the people in her family or network marketing group would think about it that she didn't want to be real anymore. And I just wanted to go out and tell her, listen, it's okay to have a negative thought. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay. But what's not okay is to pretend it's not there. What's not okay is to stuff your feelings until all of a sudden it just blows out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to condemn her for doing this. Because, yeah, it can happen to anyone. And I know the pain of that can be very difficult. But I just wanted her to be able to feel comfortable reaching out and explaining to anyone, hey, I'm not okay. And sometimes it's really important to know that we can be not okay. And it's okay to be not okay. And I think that's another line that toxic positivity crosses, is when people are no longer comfortable being honest if they say have a negative thought or a depressed thought, and they don't feel comfortable sharing it because of the mindset of the group, the toxic positivity where they think they'll be shunned and outcast if they say something different than the norm. Because here's one thing you'll remember, or I've always remembered, it's when everyone thinks the same, no one is thinking at all. And I was like, yes, hey, it's okay. I want to be a force in the world where people can be comfortable telling me they're not okay if they're not. They can be comfortable telling me, like, I'm having some negative feelings. That's the kind of helper that I want to be, not someone who's going to force others to be extremely positive all the times and neglect reality. Because guess what? Sometimes reality can suck. It absolutely can. And of course, it's not about what actually happens to us. A lot of life is how we respond. And that's all true too, but to not be able to share how we're really thinking and feeling and to stuff it in, all it does is explode later. And I think it's very therapeutic to let the negativity out once in a while, because I fell under the spell of toxic positivity. And what would happen was I'd bombard myself, knowing the power of my thoughts. I can't have negative thoughts. I gotta control them. And I got so hell-bent on doing that eventually, instead of having my negativity or depressed thoughts come out in small little bursts, I would act out extremely, and it would boil over into some sort of explosion. And that wasn't very healthy. And so I learned from then, it's, hey, I want to be authentic. I want to be real. And it's like the episode of Seinfeld where they say, serenity now, serenity now. And then Kramer at the end says, serenity now, insanity later, if we don't let it out once in a while. So that's my spiel on the toxic positivity thing. It's like, especially if we have mental illness out there, we're depressed, and we're struggling, no, it's always okay to express how we're feeling to people who we feel comfortable with. And if we're not feeling comfortable being absolutely honest with a group of people or anyone in our lives, we got to ask ourselves, why don't we feel comfortable telling the truth to this person about how we really feel? And perhaps we want to be involved and surround ourselves with more people that are going to be understanding of how we're doing. Not people who are going to be just tuned straight ahead to the toxic positivity and going to want to move away from anyone who's acting negative. Like, there's a big difference between someone who is like really a drag and pulling other people around down because of their decision making, and people who are just going through life, and maybe they have a little depression, maybe they have a little bit of anxiety, and sometimes their thoughts aren't the best, but hey, deep down they're not bad people. I think that's important too. So that's my spiel about toxic positivity there. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Have you experienced this toxic positivity? Do you think I'm out of my mind? Am I overblowing it? Yeah, please let me know in the comments. And with that, have a great rest of your day.